I have here the Husky 1000 lumens light. I'm going to tell you what's good and bad about it so you can decide if these are the lights that you need for whatever you need them. I bought them for video. Right now I'm recording with 2 aperture lights. They're not bright enough, and that is why I bought this light. This handle, you can unscrew it and detach it from here if you don't want it, if you just want to carry this whole thing by itself. If you come around the back, I noticed there was a screw on the handle when I was putting them together, and then I noticed that in this cable here where both lights, the cables join and then it becomes one cable, there was a hole. So I figure it's for you to screw that cable there. I'm guessing so the weight's not pulling on the attachment here. So I screwed it on there. Now going down, each light is 500 lumens and they work independently. On the back, they each have just a one on and off button. There is no dimmer, no different settings. Like the Husky light that's hanging back here as my backlight, it's got 2 settings. At high power is 1500 lumens, and then at half power is 750 lumens. And it has a clamp and I can just attach it, and that's a great light. But this light, as you can see, their LED is like a microchip in there, and they're cool to the touch. They don't get hot. I've already tested that. You do feel just a little bit of heat in the back, but it's a little bit. Of course, it needs a place to release the heat. One thing that I do not like, these parts right here that you loosen up, they're at the bottom of the light. So you need to tighten them very good or they're gonna fall forwards and backwards on you. What I mean is that the center of gravity in the middle is not what this is. So it would have given the light a lot more balance and strength when you tighten it. Here, you just gotta tighten it quite strong. And I have a feeling that if I tighten too strong, that it'll break. Same thing with this one here. You loosen it and you can turn it left and right. Which way do I? Okay. There it goes. So as you can see, so you can have them shine in different directions, or one to the back, one to the front. But you gotta tighten it quite well for it not to move on you. All right, moving on. They come with these 2 poles here. They serve as a stand because you can remove this from here, from the tripod. You just unhook this part here, you pull on the lever, and the light completely comes off, and you can move it wherever. You can put it on the floor for transport, or if you need it for a low shot to shine something that's low. This cable is only like, what, 5-6 feet. So I found this extra cable that I'm gonna hook on this, and I'll keep it tight. That way I'll have a little more reach. If I need a longer cable, then I'll use that. So let me show you how high it goes. This bottom part, this is as much as it extends, and then you loosen up this part, and that is how much it extends. So as you can see, the tripod is right here, so it's kind of like on same plane as my eyeballs. So the 76 inches, they probably are counting the light. There's no spring inside this tripod. So just like on video lights, there's a spring. If the light fails and it falls, at least there's a spring. On this one, it'll bang right on this. And if your fingers or anything is on this, if you're loosening up, it'll bang on this thing right here. It has not happened to me, but it will crush you. Let me loosen it so I can turn it back your way. Now, the tripod is sturdy. It's not 100% sturdy. It does wobble. But if you need it for a work light and you put them there, that's not a problem. Another feature that they have, at the bottom where there's the knob to tighten it, you got to tighten that quite well, same as the other ones. That's the one thing I don't like. You got to tighten them very strong, otherwise they stay loose and move around. But back here, this one leg, the one in the back where the knob to tighten the base here, it has an extra feature down here. It is meant for you to move the light forward. So as you can see, it'll lean the lights forward. If you need that, like I said, you can already move the lights from the top up and down, or you can just turn this thing the other way, and now you got the lights leaning back. So you got that feature there. Another thing is down here on the same leg, there's this round hook here. I don't know what this is for. I'm assuming it's for you to run the cable. For when you have an extension, you just run the cable through there, and I guess it helps to keep it tight instead of the cable flopping around. So you just run it through there and run your extension. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna turn it the way it's supposed to be, and I'm gonna plug it in and turn them on. So you can see how bright this thing is. Okay, so this is a great thing. It's got those hooks there, so you can run the cables, like tighten them up for transport. So there, now I got the lights. I'm gonna connect them to the wall. All right, I just plug them in. As soon as you plug them in, you can't see it from now, but the button, the on and off button, lights up. So I'm gonna turn it this way, away from the camera. I'm gonna turn one on, that's 500 lumens. I'm gonna turn the other one on. So now, let's see. These things are very bright. So they also bring this adapter here, which doesn't make sense to me. Let me tell you why. It brings this adapter, which nowhere in the instructions does it tell you anything about this, but by watching videos and looking at it, it means that I can, with this knob here, I can loosen that tripod, loosen the light from this segment, put the light here, and then with the light, put it here where this whole setup is. I can have just one light. I can put this light on this and put this here. And the reason why it doesn't make any sense, I already kind of showed you. Both cables are connected to the light, so you cannot separate the lights. If you unhook one light and you put it on this and you put this here, you still got the other light hanging or on the side, or you're holding it because you can't separate it. So this, I don't know, it just, they didn't give that too much thought. What I'm gonna do now, I think I cover every feature, the things that I like and I don't like. One more thing, portability. The tripod, you can take it off, you know, store it, collapse it, put it anywhere, travel with it easy. But this thing, like I just showed you, you gotta take this whole thing with you, and where are you gonna put this thing that is about a foot or maybe a little over a foot in height and about a foot in, like, what is it, width? And this side, what is that, like almost 2 feet? So you're gonna have to find its own box to put it in exactly like that, because you're not gonna wanna be unscrewing lights, unscrewing this, because these screws, they screw up from the bottom only. If you try to screw the screw from the top, it doesn't fit. This metal part here gets in the way. So you gotta put the light, put the screw, hold everything together, and then put the red knob on it. If you want to minimize some height, you can take this handle off, but If you are not going to use any box or anything, you're just going to have to take this whole thing, wrap the cable on it, and put it somewhere. And if you go on a construction site and this thing is bouncing around your truck, they might get damaged. If you're just in a shop and you're just gonna store the tripod on the floor and put this on the floor and that's it, put it away, come back the next day, put it on top, you're fine. So for me, these lights are gonna be to use here in the house for photography, for video. So like I said earlier, this thing are gonna replace those two, which are weak. They're at full power right now. And in my opinion, they're not as bright as I need them to be. So I think that's everything for the lights. I do think it's a great light. I mean, it costs between $130, $140. So it is a good price for the amount of power that you get in light. And since you can work them independently, like if I see that my video is too bright, I just turn one off and go halfway, and that's awesome. So if I want to light myself with one light and then just point the other one to the side to light like the wall, then that's good. I got two lights in one. This whole setup is fairly lightweight. The temperature is at 4,000 K. So it's neutral. It's not too yellow, not too white. It's kind of average, balance in the middle. Now the CRI is at 80, preferably, at least for video and photography, you want that to be like at 95%. Those are 95. But, you know, it's not that big of a deal because those lights, each one was $275, each one, without a light stand. I had to buy the light stand separately. In this, it was $140. I get the tripod, both lights, a handle. They're more powerful. If you think this is what you need for your shop, for you're a mechanic, in your garage, for working or whatever it is that you do, they're plenty bright. And if you don't mind the little things I mentioned about being loose and making sure you tighten the knobs very well, then you're set. You're gonna have a great set of lights. And this is what it looks like with the Husky's 10,000 lumens light. These were the ones that I was using for video, two of these. These are the Aperture 676, $275 each one of these, just the light, no light stand. They do bring a diffuser, this white one and a orange one. And they do have a dimmer and an on and off switch, and that's it, and they can run on batteries. So $275 for this, like $140 for two of those. So check out the lights if you're interested in something powerful for your shop, for whatever your job is, or for video. Cheap lights for video, LED.